All right, so I figured I'd go ahead and mic up because it's getting a little windy out here. Once again, it's the man Chaka Harley chiming in. Just got done doing a workout. I'm at a calisthenics park in the RDU. Really dope spot that I found. Next time I come out here, I'll probably do a little bit of filming of the workout and also just show you the environment, the scenery. It's pretty nice. And really dope spot. I might invite some of you too when we do some meetups. If you guys want to fly in, or anyone who's local, who's got the right mindset, we could definitely chop it up. But anyway, I began earlier talking about falling back sometimes to work on yourself. Sometimes you have to redefine, who you are and redefine the meaning of your life. And sometimes you just have to stop and listen so you can actually hear, from the voice of God and figure out like what is the meaning of life, because admit it that a lot of us don't really know. We have these ideas and sometimes they don't really pan out in the way that we imagine that they will. So that's a lot of times swimming upstream and going in the wrong direction, meaning that you don't really know what you're doing. If you did, you'd probably be headed the right way. So anyway, sorry, these mosquitoes are crazy out here right now. And I guess they're trying to get to these veins. But the biggest problem I see with people when it comes to defining their lives is that there's always somebody in your life who's trying to kind of define it for you. Whether it's your mother, father, brothers, aunties, cousins, friends, even teachers. I mean, there's all kinds of influences, external, even that's close or even far away from you. Social media, everything is trying to define you, trying to put you in a box or a certain category. And the danger is that when you really think about it and you ask yourself, you're like, yo, how many people really don't know who they are? And then how many people are more likely to try to help you discover who you are? The answer is the majority of people don't know who they are. And most of them, very casually, without very much thought at all, are very quick to try to put you in a box and try to define you for who you are. And they feel comfortable with it, even though they know deep down inside they don't really know who they are. So that's a dangerous thing unless you put it into context and realize how often this happens and like how difficult it is if you find yourself on a trajectory where someone else is trying to define you, and you start thinking about the things that you're doing, whether you went to a certain school or whether you went to get a certain type of job, or whether you date a certain kind of person or drive a certain kind of car, wear a certain kind of clothes, talk a certain kind of talk, subscribe to certain YouTube channels and social media influencers, whatever. It's all kinds of things that are influencing you without you being the main influencer. And so I know in this world now, when we think of influencers, we literally think of like people on social media that we don't even know, or some that we do know who may have a lot of followers or a lot of engagement, and we start to think that like these people are influencers. And it's like, true, they are, but should they be influencers over you? Now, I know that's crazy for me being somebody on YouTube sparking that question, but the question is, put it into a deeper context. Should you be giving your influence to others? Like, meaning like, should you allow other people to influence you? Like these mosquitoes? Or should you be the main influencer in your life? The only way, of course, I'm gonna say you should be the main one. Right now, these mosquitoes are influencing me, though. I'm not gonna front. I done got torn up by this one. It's like a little dragon trying to bite me. I'm like, damn. But anyway, I'm gonna say you should be the main influence. Now, some things I would recommend. Number one, you don't necessarily have to cut everybody off, but start paying more attention to what people are saying and doing around you. Like, take at least 5 seconds when you get into an environment or when you get around people that you hang out with or whatever, and just don't talk, but just listen. And then ask yourself, like, what are the things I'm hearing? Do I really agree with these things? Or do these things resonate with my soul and my spirit? Do they make me feel good? Whatever. And then after that, take some notes. Like, you probably have a notepad on your phone. I mean, you might not want to carry around a notebook, but I wouldn't speak against that. But I know everybody has one on their phone. So jot down some notes about what you're experiencing. It could even be people's names, like this person's always talking about this, or this always makes me feel that way. And then I want you to think about how that really ultimately has influenced you. You know, are you going to, like, let's say you go out to clubs or certain parties or events that you really don't like, but you feel the pressure socially to do it because everybody that you know is a part of it. And start thinking about who's really behind that, who's calling you, always trying to drag you out to these certain environments. And I would recommend doing that just so you can get a good idea of, like, okay, these are the things that I'm really experiencing, like, in my real world, my real life. And then I want you to go on your social media, especially if you're YouTube, well, this is YouTube, so yeah, go on your YouTube subscriptions and look at them and see what you're subscribed to. And ask yourself, how do those things really make you feel? And then if you're, like, not really sure about it, then do the same thing with that I said that you do in your real life. Like, just take a week and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch my YouTube feed and my subscribed channels and stuff like that. And for the first 5 seconds of each video, I'm gonna think about what emotion is being created and how does that make me feel? And do I feel like I really resonate with that? Or is it just something that's kind of speaking to my brain in a way that's creating dopamine, and I just want to keep going deeper down a rabbit hole, even though when I get to the end of the rabbit hole, I really don't like what I see. And then once you have done that, I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about what's influenced you to be where you are today. And what are the things that you could do, if you could do it over, you would do differently. Now, to be honest with you, every time I think about do-overs in life, I usually say, nah, I wouldn't do it over, because I'm really happy about who I've become in the process of all my challenges and all my triumphs. But I do know that sometimes there's gonna be that side of you that says, but man, if I really could do that one over, I might just skip that one. Even though it taught me a good lesson, sometimes I might just skip some of those lessons. But at the end of the day, without that being a part of the conversation, I want you to look at your life and I want you to think about how you've been influenced to be where you are and how you feel about it. And how does that really make you feel when you think about it? And caution, don't allow yourself to get deep into any negative emotions. Feel every emotion that you feel, but remember, in this exercise, you're just the observer. You're not doing this to be down on yourself. You're not doing this to get depressed or anxious or nothing like that. You're doing it just to simply observe. Because remember, the whole point of this is that I want you to know something. You are the person that actually controls all of it. So even if you might have been influenced by somebody, you still have to consent to these decisions that you're making. And with that being the case, remember, you're in a power position. The issue is that sometimes people don't take the time to look at the power that they have. So with that being the case, that's how you end up going crazy, because you're like, you really believe that everybody else has the power, but they really don't have the power. You have the power, but sometimes you're giving your power away. As I just said, you have to consent to this exchange of energy to allow somebody else to take something from you that you already have that would really do better under your control, and you give that control up and you allow somebody else to take you down a journey that you have no idea where you're going, and you don't even know why you went there. And that's the whole point. So anyway, I'm gonna keep this one short. Do this exercise, and in the comments, I want you to tell me, some of the answers to these questions, and let's start a conversation about it, because I think that this is really important for people to just look at themselves and just be like, okay, these are the things that's going on, and this is what I have in common with other people. And therefore you don't feel isolated and singled out, because you're not alone. We're all in this together, and we all have something that we can share. All right, if you like this video, I want you to like, comment, share, subscribe. Definitely comment, tap in with me if you have any questions, and also share this with people that you care about and people that you know that would be interested in this information. It's the man Chaka Harley signing out. Peace.